Welcome back to Heel Turn, the number one podcast. Oh, wait, what was it again? Number one podcast, everything WWE.
You know what? I'm just going to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Heel Turn, the number one podcast for everything WWE. I'm your host, Liam, joined by my co-host,
Fraser.
As always, before we start, subscribe to the channel, episode 6 of Heel Turn today, and follow us on our various social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. They'll all be in the description below. But Fraser, let me talk to you.
Yeah.
I like the hoodie today.
Well, thank you very much. It's obviously, as the cameras can see, it's an LA Knight hoodie. Got it probably early last year.
How did you get it? Explain.
Well, it's a funny story, actually. So
We're starting off with a bang today.
So my brother and I were obviously in Perth, right? And we had to kill time.
For the chamber last year?
Exactly. And we went to the Superstore, which is just like a really big tent out in the middle of like a park, sort of. And we went in there. And, well, Dakota Kai was actually in there. Yeah, she got fired, though.
Yeah, we talked about that last week. Released, yes.
Yeah, rest in peace.
She'll be back, I'm sure.
Hopefully, yeah. She's very talented. But apart from seeing Dakota Kai there, we were going to buy, like, T-shirts and whatever. And when we were in there wasn't a very good selection of clothes, funnily enough. And all of them were pretty overpriced. It was like $50 for one T-shirt. So,
damn.
Yeah, this is my brother's hoodie. And when we left, he was like, oh, man, screw this. I'm just going to buy myself more merch on WWE Store. It's better off. And funnily enough, it actually was. He probably paid a little bit less for like 3 items than he would have paid for like a couple of T-shirts in there. So instead of buying, that overpriced stuff, he bought this. And it was probably a much better deal because there's also a sale on WWE shop. Yeah,
there
WWE
would be
shop.
at that time, wouldn't it? Yeah.
For Chamber, so...
Well, it's a bit funny that you have decided to wear it because, you know, we do have evidence of you a while ago on the podcast saying that LA Knight can't wrestle, but...
No, well, I wouldn't say that per se.
You did apologise, though.
Of course I did, yeah. He probably got the message, I hope, because, you know, this is the number one podcast for everything WWE, so...
Of course it is,
Of course.
Speaking of Perth, we just bought our flights.
Yes,
to go
we did.
And see our Crown Jewel Perth.
Still in process of getting accommodation, though. My
yeah,
bad.
well, yeah. Some people just take
my responsibility
forever to get the accommodation.
Yeah. Mate, I'm a busy man.
I booked the flights. Oh, I'm sure you are. I booked the flights. We're just waiting for this guy to get the accommodation.
Yeah, but Perth is definitely locked in, though.
Yeah,
have you gotten the email for the pre-sale for the tickets?
I have.
Good. Have you put your email in so you can snatch up some tickets?
Yeah.
Who's buying the tickets? I don't know. We haven't even thought that far yet, but
depends how much tickets will be for Crown Jewel Perth, I'd say.
Yeah, well, you want to go to SmackDown and the PLE as well.
I kind of wanted to go to Raw as well, but I get we're just gonna go to SmackDown and to the Crown Jewel. So, but we're going to do everything in our power to make sure we're there.
If there are also any fans of the Heel Turn podcast coming and they see us, come say hi. Obviously, we're absolutely...
Get a photo if you want.
Yeah, we're very famous.
We're the nicest people you'll meet. So.
Yes, exactly. Anyway,
right.
We should probably get back on track.
I say we should.
Yes.
And we're going to review Backlash in our first segment.
Yep.
Pretty good spectacle overall, I'd say.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It was actually kind of better than I expected. Looking at the match card, I wasn't surprised with any of the actual results that happened. Like, I'm pretty sure all of my predictions were right, but I'd say the actual matches exceeded my expectations. I don't know about you. But
no, I agree. I think they're all actually pretty good. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
But the first one we are going to get into is Jacob Fatu in that fatal 4-way for the United States Championship against LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, and Damian Priest. I actually really liked this match. I thought all of them had... LA Knight came out of the blocks pretty quick. He got off to a real good start, and we all sort of thought, oh, okay, LA Knight, he's back. This is his time again. But Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre also put on a good show as well. Priest obviously costing Drew McIntyre the match again by pulling the ref out of the ring.
Yeah.
Jacob Fatu absolutely going crazy as well. It was a pretty good match overall.
Well, I'd just like to say that a couple of weeks ago, I actually predicted this match would happen before it got announced.
I actually remember you did.
Yeah. Triple H booked me right now, seriously, onto the writing team. But, what were you saying? It was a pretty good match, though. Yeah, I agree. Especially the spot with, was it Damo and Drew, where they went off the
Oh, yeah,
thing
yeah,
into
yeah.
the table
Yeah.
down below. Drew smacked his head on the ground, apparently.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But there was also this one point in the match, it was sort of in the middle part, where all of them each had their finishes one after the other.
Yeah.
Which is what I always love to see. I think LA Knight had a BFT on Jacob Fatu, and then Priest did a South of Heaven on LA Knight. And then McIntyre came in with a Claymore. And then when McIntyre hit Priest with the Claymore, and then Priest was sort of just upright.
Oh, yeah, and then he
then
fell
onto
onto-
LA Knight. And
yeah.
I'm like, oh crap, that was actually really cool.
Yeah, and
then
it was
Priest saved the
really
match.
close. The count was really close. I thought it might actually be the end of the match.
I reckon that just happened right then in the moment. I don't think that was planned at all. Because if you watch McIntyre, he almost like gets up and he looks around. He's like, oh no, and then he quickly runs in. I reckon that wasn't planned at all, which was actually, and it looked really good.
Yeah.
But I expected something from Solo Sikoa to happen, but it's a really interesting one because he saves Jacob Fatu. Because if LA Knight lands on Jacob Fatu through that table, it breaks. He's not getting up.
Yeah.
Solo saves Jacob Fatu, but then doesn't tell Jacob Fatu that he's recruiting Jeff Cobb.
Jeff Cobb.
This is
Yes.
a really interesting one. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it all.
Well, I don't really know much about Jeff Cobb. I doubt that you do as well. We're more WWE centered on watching wrestling. But I have done a little bit of research. Found out he wrestles in Japan a lot.
Yeah.
And probably not anymore because he's with WWE now. But he wrestled in Japan. He's not Samoan, funnily enough. He's like Filipino, I think. But
It's almost as if they've gotten like a new Bronson Reed. Like they had Bronson Reed, then obviously he got injured.
yeah.
It'd be interesting to see his return as well,
Well,
soon.
I think he might be. Well, from what we saw, that little snippet of what we saw, he seems like a pretty athletic bloke. I
Yeah.
think he was also an Olympian as well. Funnily
Yeah,
enough.
I heard about
Yeah.
that as well.
Yeah, for Guam, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think with most things in wrestling, we're just gonna have to wait and see and see how he goes. But I think he's a pretty good pick for
Yeah.
a new member of the Bloodline. People loved it last year when they were recruiting new members of the Bloodline. You know, obviously Tama Tonga, Infamous, Tongaloa,
Yeah.
Jacob Fatu especially. So I think hopefully they're WWE just trying to recreate that same success with getting a bunch of people in there, getting the new faces in the Bloodline. Especially since obviously Jacob Fatu might be splitting away at some point,
I
and
feel that could
Tongaloa is still injured.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I feel that could happen because obviously Jacob is pretty pissed off with Solo at the moment because he's not informing him. Because on SmackDown the night before, when Solo was saying, Jacob, we need a plan B. We need a plan B. And then Jacob obviously going off. So, yeah, this is an interesting one.
yeah. But overall, it was a very good match as well.
Yeah.
I want to see more people get recruited to the Bloodline too. I think I said, like, maybe one of our second podcasts, I said Hikuleo, another Samoan
Yeah.
guy who wrestled in Japan. He got signed months and months and months ago. He hasn't made an appearance yet. Whether he's going to make an appearance on NXT or new part of the Bloodline, who knows?
Yeah.
But I want to keep seeing. I know that WWE gets a lot of criticism for just keep continuing to hire people in the same family over and over and over again.
Well, speaking of that, I actually really want to see Zilla Fatu come
yeah,
into
Zilla,
WWE.
dude.
I'm really like, I thought we were sort of going to get that last year during that whole
Same.
Bloodline story, and it didn't happen. Obviously, Zilla Fatu is incredibly talented, almost like another Jacob Fatu. So I'm incredibly excited to see if they're going to go in that direction, because
Yeah.
I'd really like to see Zilla Fatu.
But he's a bit of a younger talent, though. I reckon they might start him off with
In
NXT. Kind of
NXT.
like what they did with Solo before he joined the Bloodline.
Yeah,
he
yeah,
was in
yeah.
NXT, and then
Yeah, and then they had
him
him
up.
interfere at Clash of the Castle a
yeah,
couple
and
years
then,
ago.
and then they brought him up. Yeah,
Yeah, that would probably be the starting point for Zilla, but
that's
again,
if that even
he's,
happens.
He's definitely got a future in WWE
Definitely.
though.
He's still
So,
pretty young though, as far as I know. So
Yeah, he'll be back there.
yeah, definitely.
Lyra Valkyria retains the Women's Intercontinental Championship against Becky Lynch. I remember a couple of weeks ago you had Becky winning. I was pretty confident that Lyra would retain and that Becky would get pretty upset, which she did. But the overall match, obviously Lyra took 3 manhandle slams during that whole match, and she
Yeah.
was able to kick out on all occasions. And then the actual ending to the match, like it was sort of, they all tumbled.
I actually
around
liked the
and
ending.
then-
It was very technical.
Yeah.
The crowd didn't know when it was going to end.
It gave Becky the opportunity to still have enough energy to go after Lyra at the end. Like it wasn't like Becky just lying there, which just sort of perfectly sets up her heel character a bit more, because I think she is playing it really well.
Yeah, well, I really liked the match personally. The ending was good as well. I mean, I think Lyra did make one botch near the end where she put Becky up, and then she was going to do her, like, I think it was like a moonsault onto her, but then she, like, remembered that spot hadn't come up yet, so she went for the pin.
Oh yeah, she went for the pin,
that?
and then the commentators made it out that. So as you can see, that's the inexperience, of Lyra Valkyria. She should have gone back again. Yeah, I think she definitely got a bit confused.
But I definitely did like the sort of technical nature of the match where they were like rolling each other up, and then you know what I mean.
I felt like it started off a little bit slow and a bit scratchy, but as the match went on, they sort of they were able to settle into it a little bit more. Obviously, this was Becky's first singles match in like about a year.
Yeah.
So obviously, if she didn't win, it wasn't going to be the be all and end all, because Becky's already accomplished so much. If anything, you need Lyra. You need to propel Lyra more. Like they've got to start looking at some of the younger talents right now in the WWE, and one of the first steps to do it is to.
Lyra's pretty over now though, anyway, because people always do that wooing thing in her entrance.
I think she's a really good wrestler.
And I think she's really over with the crowd as well.
Like
over the weeks, people have more been participating in her entrance and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I also like how in the match there's a bit of manipulation. Getting Lyra's fiance out there. Becky screaming at him.
What were they saying about Lyra's fiance? Weren't they saying
online? People online. Yeah. Well, obviously, don't judge a book by its cover, because people were like, "Oh, look at Lyra's fiance. Anything's possible." But then it came out like pretty quickly that he was a professional wrestler, and that he's some jacked, buff guy. Like he's a very experienced wrestler.
Yeah.
I think people shouldn't be too quick to judge on other people.
Yeah, for sure.
I think even Finn Balor came out and said that like he's a good bloke and all that sort of stuff. So as far as I know,
I will get to Finn Balor a little bit later on as well. But this match, I gave it an 8 out of 10. I felt like it started off a bit slow, but it got better towards the end. And the ending just perfectly suits Becky's character. Also, Becky taking responsibility for Lyra's success, which she has done, pretty recently after she attacked her.
Yeah.
But I also want to pop the question of when Bayley's going to return, because if Bayley does return, it'll obviously be to sort of get a bit of revenge on Becky Lynch as well. Yeah.
Well, I think WWE needs to keep propelling Bayley, because I feel like the Bayley disrespect, as I was saying a couple of weeks ago.
Bayley slander, man.
Yeah, Bayley slander, man. It's crazy, but
because she was literally like this time a year ago, she was
women's world
a WWE champion.
Yeah.
And then obviously she had a few other opportunities against Tiffany Stratton as well, and then that showed that whole sort of segment with Naomi for a while too, and then she made the move to Raw, going after the Women's Intercontinental Championship for a while, and now this is almost just a way to
I hope
get off
WWE I hope WWE still uses her and all that, because a bit of speculation that she might go to AEW.
I really hope not,
with because her and Mercedes Moné, I think she might be the AEW Women's Champion. I have no idea. I don't watch AEW, but they're pretty good mates. And obviously, she used to be in WWE. Sasha Banks.
I think Dakota Kai might go to AEW.
Yeah,
for a little bit as well.
Well, that's the thing with released superstars. They can either really go to AEW or TNA.
Yeah.
And TNA is probably like your best opportunity to get back into WWE because of
Australia's
their
own Indy Hartwell. Just signed with TNA.
With NXT the other week as well. Elijah, used to be Elias in WWE. He also got back onto NXT as well.
Yeah, Aleister Black as well.
Yeah, it's a pretty good way to sort of... going to TNA is a pretty good way to
build yourself back up a little bit more.
To WWE. Because if you go to AEW, because TNA, at least they know their audience. At least they know what venues to book, to have full arenas. Whereas I feel like AEW definitely shoots a bit too high, and they book arenas, and then they have to tarp off half the arena, behind the hard cam, for instance. Yeah. So, but I don't know.
Yeah.
TNA is still pretty good. Well, as I said, if a wrestler gets released, either they really go to TNA or AEW to really grow themselves again. But yeah.
Well, the third match was Dominic Mysterio against Penta, which
I really like this match, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I liked the match. I just didn't know about the whole build up to it all because obviously Penta, like he's already had a few shots at the Intercontinental Championship and he's been involved with the Judgment Day for a while. So I didn't know about this one, but as like a first PLE title defense for Dominic, I did expect him to win. Because like you said before, Penta, he's still pretty new. You know, you give him a little bit more time.
He's got a lot more charisma than Rey Fenix, though, I have to admit. Like, even they changed his theme song. Like, I mean, I think they may have added like a different guitar to it or something like that, so it gives a bit more of an edge. Yeah. But I think Penta's just a lot more over. I think with his entrance and everything like that, and then that's what it is. Yeah. But well, I don't know what the words are in Spanish. I don't really want to.
Pretty sure it's no fear. Potentially.
Yeah.
Cero. Metal.
Yeah, I don't want to culturally appropriate.
If that's wrong, I apologize.
And even like the entrance, like the little walk that he does and everything, he's just a lot more over. But I think he sort of deserves these opportunities because why would you waste the sort of energy that people have for him?
And the luchadors as well, like
exactly, like
taking over the
because people they really only had like Rey Mysterio for like quite a while, who had the mask on, and maybe Dragon Lee. Yeah, but he's sort of fallen off a bit, unfortunately.
Speaking of the luchadors, El Grande Americano.
Yeah.
I love El Grande Americano.
Yeah, and his interference at the end of the match.
Costing Penta.
I like how he has like this thing where he puts like the piece of metal in his mask and headbutts people. I think it's a really cool sort of gimmick, I guess.
But Dom is very lucky that El Grande interfered because we saw, obviously, we expected the Judgment Day to make another appearance in the match, which they did. But Finn Balor hesitated with the steel chair.
Well, hesitated. Could have been purposeful.
Purposeful.
Yeah.
We never know. That's what Dom said to Finn. He said that you hesitated with the chair.
Yeah.
So
because I reckon they're going to build up a storyline where Finn's jealous of Dom. Because think about it, Finn's like in his 40s now and Dom's only like, 27, 28, something like that.
There's actually something else that I want to talk about with Finn Balor. The last 2 weeks on Raw, I don't know if you've seen it, but he's been caught in the background talking to Roxanne Perez twice over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're looking to move Roxanne and Julia to Raw officially.
I think it is official now.
Well, if it is official, then that's great because it's almost as if I think they're going to set up, you know, a new faction possibly with
Could be.
With
Judgment Day Mark III.
Finn, JD, Roxanne, and Julia as well. That's a really interesting one because I wouldn't have picked that. I wouldn't have picked Finn to betray Dom for Roxanne Perez.
No, definitely not. But I want to talk about Dirty Dom just for a second as well. What about well, even Penta as well? The moves that they were doing in the match were really good. What about the start of the match where Dom, dove out, suicide dive, and then
turned into a DDT.
Dude, that was such a good
amazing
move.
And then Dom with an Oblivion too.
That
was amazing.
Yeah, and
I love that.
I also liked on the outside of the ring where they were like chopping each other on the barricade like over and over again. And then Dom put him into the stairs and got up and sort of got a reaction from the crowd. You know how he goes up on the rope and like flexes his muscles and then does that. I love how they're cheering for Dom though, and even just like Penta's moves as well, like the Mexican Destroyer on the.
Did you see his Mexican Destroyer against Chad Gable on Raw the other day? That finish up was amazing.
The way that Chad Gable sells that stuff though is so good. Like it makes it look like he lands on his head like really well.
And like I don't know what Michael Cole's talking about because obviously Chad Gable lost to Penta, like. They're obviously two different people, El Grande Americano and Chad Gable.
Of course, like we don't know who's under the mask. Could be Omos for all we know. Could be Mark Henry. It
could be anyone really.
Yeah.
But I'll give this one a 7 out of 10, because like
I'll give it an 8.
I don't know. This one for me was probably the lowest of the night. Still a good match. Like I said, Backlash overall exceeded my expectations.
Yeah.
This match was.
I don't know. I really liked it personally. I don't know about you.
Oh, well, maybe I guess I'm just trying to think of a more interesting opponent for Dom other than Penta, just because Penta's been involved in the Judgment Day a little bit. Yeah,
slander.
Penta slander.
Anyway.
You've had
I've slandered everyone on the roster.
You've slandered Penta before. Like, come on.
Yeah. Well, have I? I don't know.
I think you
don't
might
remember.
have. Oh, well.
I've definitely slandered Ray Phoenix, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
That we can agree on.
mm,
Gunther versus Pat McAfee. I thought this one was going to be one where Gunther took it to the extreme level that the match was just going to get called off altogether.
yeah.
But it didn't, because Pat actually had some pretty good spots as well. And like I said the other week, he like his last match was WrestleMania 38 with Austin Theory, and he actually showed a bit there as well. Like he did a couple of moonsaults off the top rope, which he did do, and he was able to counter a few of Gunther's moves as well. But I think I wasn't surprised to see, obviously, when Pat would try and attempt something, and then Gunther would do the same thing, and it would have maximal effect, and Pat would just fall down.
Yeah.
But obviously, what else is really funny when Pat slapped Gunther,
Oh, yeah.
and he's like, "Okay, here I go," and then he goes to jump over the top rope, and he trips over the top rope.
Yeah, dude. I think same thing as Lyra Valkyria. I think it just shows his inexperience.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. In the ring.
It's a good cover. Well, obviously Michael Cole is
Yeah.
completely biased, which is really
That's what he said
funny.
before
Yeah.
he officiated the match. I'm going to be really biased tonight, or whatever he
I
said.
apologize to everyone, but I'm going to be completely biased.
Yeah,
That was good.
I think this match was probably the lowest of the night. It definitely exceeded my expectations, but it was a bit more just like a gimmick match than anything. Like, it was more just like, oh, here's a match, you know.
And Gunther actually showed some bit of respect to.
And I think it was
Pat
definitely they were
after.
scraping the bottom of the barrel, because I thought this would be a way to write Pat McAfee off TV or something.
Yeah, no,
But
and
then he showed
was,
up.
He was back on Raw, yeah.
So,
No, I don't think so.
but I really liked the Michael Cole element of the match, how he got out and, was like, oh, just end the match, Gunther,
Yeah.
cover him, end
Yeah.
the match, whatever. And then he
What-
got him in the ring and all
yeah.
that.
And then
And how Michael Cole
yeah.
held Gunther's boot.
Oh
when,
yeah. It wasn't really much effect or anything.
Yeah,
like that,
when-
but still, it was funny.
Yeah, but Gunther still gave a good offense though. And Pat McAfee, I think, posted on social media after like his chest, and it was like absolutely red raw. Yeah,
It would be. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the
but-
thing with Gunther's chops. Like they actually have a lot of effect as well.
yeah,
So, but now Gunther, he's gonna go after the World Heavyweight Championship again.
mm-hmm.
He's obviously waiting for the winner between Jay and Logan Paul. So Jay we'll get to that one after, but I don't know about running Gunther and Jay back again, because obviously they had a match earlier in the year at Saturday night's main event, and then at WrestleMania, and now another one. So.
Logan Paul versus Gunther would be good though.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
after
what I
SNME.
think. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really expect Jay to hold the title for that long.
Yeah.
That's because every single match like I've seen Jay get put into. Well,
the
there's
one
this
with the one with Seth Rollins in that main event, that
Yeah.
on Raw Coesco, that one was actually pretty good.
Yeah,
I think that was one of his better matches.
but I think going back to the match just for a second, I think this, like the match and like Pat McAfee and all is definitely like degrading Gunther's like character and all that.
Yeah.
Just because, well, he put Jay put him into that submission, into the sleeper hold or whatever,
Yeah.
and Gunther like submitted in like 4 seconds apparently.
Mm.
Whereas he put Pat McAfee into it, and he like was in it for like I think like 20 seconds, and he got up and everything.
Yeah.
So, and then even after all that, where something was meant to be like a bit of a squash, Gunther like gave him like his flowers, was like, oh, good job,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Like, that's not really going to do Gunther many favors, like character-wise. Like, especially
Yeah.
last year when he was Intercontinental. No, it wasn't last year, was it? Just 2 years ago, Intercontinental champion, was it?
Well, he lost it at WrestleMania last year.
Oh yeah, last
So-
year. Well, last year he was like absolutely ruthless. Like the match against Chad Gable on Raw when he was still in Alpha Academy. Like Chad Gable's like kids were like crying in the front row, and Gunther's like,
Yeah.
like I don't care, or he looked like he didn't care, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with Gunther's character. I just don't think they should keep putting him in some like sort of matches like this that sort of undermine his sort of
Yeah. Well, what are they going to do with him now? Because he's obviously not champion anymore.
yeah.
So, and you can't. I'm trying to just think of like a potential feud that they could set up with him, but none really comes to mind. So
Yeah.
obviously they had like a
Yeah,
whole
a bit of a
no-
dry spell with Gunther at the moment, I think.
Yeah, I
Can't
agree.
really do a lot with him.
Yeah. The main event of Backlash: John Cena versus Randy Orton, one last time.
Yeah, that
They're-
match cooked.
31 world championships between them. I'm pretty sure you were talking to me about it before. You expected R-Truth to have some sort of influence
Yeah, I
overall,
did.
so-
Well, I was doubted many times, saying
Yeah.
that he wouldn't be in such a high caliber match.
Yeah.
And then when I was watching and I saw him, Randy dog, don't do it, man.
You knew it, bro.
Yeah, I was like, look, I predicted that.
Yeah.
Like I'm literally in the WWE writing room. Seriously, put me in that writing room. But
Yeah.
no, I still think the match was really good.
Yeah.
You know,
Cena hit like 3 or 4 AAs. Randy,
Yeah.
did you see when Cena had him up for an attitude adjustment, and then as he flipped him over, Randy countered it into
well,
an
I think that's
RKO?
already happened before in one of their matches too. So I think they were sort of just
Yeah.
rehashing the same stuff. But it was
Rehashing
still
the
good,
past.
still good memories though to call back to.
Yeah.
Obviously, John and Randy have been opponents like a million times at this point. So
Yeah. The ending turned out how I thought it would. Like,
Yeah.
Like John Cena, low blow, like he did to Cody, and then interfering and then hitting him with the title as well. That's
Yeah.
obviously that further highlights how he's going to ruin wrestling a little bit more. Even afterwards in the media, before he attacked R-Truth, he was, he was being a little bit more, respectful towards the media as well. Even after the
Yeah.
match, when he'd won, he sort of had a little moment outside the ring.
Well, I
where-
think that's just because it might set up another face turn or something like that. Cause, like,
because
he misses the crowd's applause
he's
or whatever.
realizing that he's every city that he leaves that he's never going to go back to. He's obviously, he's never going to see them again. And I think the thank you Cena chants
Yeah.
are really hitting home for him, because obviously maybe it's not going how he thought it would. Maybe he thought that everyone would just be hating on him for turning heel, but everyone loves the move so much that they can't help but thank him for
Well,
him
yeah, just
seeing
for the
them
service.
for one
Well, it's for the service,
for one last time. So yeah, obviously, yeah, he feels it, John Cena, and you have to feel for him as well, because I'm sure it's not easy, like
Pretending to hate people.
pretending to hate people and gifting fans and kids all around the world with his presence, and now he has to turn heel. And actually speaking of which, of the fans, the night before on SmackDown, when a fan threw an empty beer bottle at John Cena, that is just stupid. That's not on at all.
No.
Like,
Well, I
can't,
think
you
I think
can't
he
have
got a
that in
good,
any place in sport.
I think the security had a good go at him though to tell him not to do that.
It's-
But I like how he
it's
at least
just
acknowledged it
disgraceful
though.
behaviour,
I liked
honestly.
how John at least acknowledged it. They got the. I still don't know
Yeah.
the announcer's name. What's the new announcer on SmackDown?
Yeah,
I don't know. I liked how I
don't
got him
know.
to stop. Like,
He's done it
And
for he's done it for the past 3 weeks.
yeah, we got him to stop, and then, he picked
Yeah.
up the beer bottle, he chucked it away. At least he acknowledged it.
Yeah, but it's just a bad look. Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I gave this one an 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, for their last time, it was pretty good. And then obviously Randy Orton gets upset again and RKO'd like
Nick
5
Aldis.
people
Yeah,
in
Nick
a row.
Aldis and then like all the
And
other
Nick Aldis.
people.
And R-Truth as well.
And even the press conference after where R-Truth went
Yeah.
to John and was like, hey man, you're a great wrestler. Even though people say that you're mean or whatever.
You suck and you can't wrestle.
Yeah. and
Yeah,
then
I know.
John was like all serious. Like, John even made John break character as a heel. Like, did you see John like laughing during that?
Yeah, I know.
Like R-Truth is the only guy to make like multiple people that you wouldn't think break
You could-
character. Like he even made Brock Lesnar break character one time.
You know what I would love to see?
Yeah.
John Cena versus R-Truth at Saturday night's
Yeah,
main
that's probably
event.
what's gonna happen.
I'd love to see that. And
Yeah.
either John wins in like 5 seconds, or
Yeah.
R-Truth actually puts up a pretty good fight.
Yeah.
That would be such a big moment for R-Truth as well. Like getting to wrestle his
childhood hero, even though he's older than him. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it will be amazing.
Yeah, I reckon it'll be pretty
But
good.
yeah, for one last time, like,
It was a great match.
let's give him a clap. John Cena and Randy Orton, thank you for your service for many people around the world.
Oh, only John really, because
No.
he's the one retiring.
No, but I'm talking about the connection between them two,
Oh, yeah,
the both
fair
of them in the ring.
Yeah.
Wrestling each other. Like we might not ever see it again.
Oh, we probably won't.
So
Yeah.
thank you very much.
Well, I've had the pleasure of seeing Randall and Johnny Boy in real life. So
Well, we're also going to see him in Perth
Yeah,
this
yeah.
year as well. Seeing
Well,
John Cena in real
well,
life.
I'm
So-
not sure about Randall, but
Well, we will see John.
yeah,
So,
exactly.
Yeah.
Moving on, yeah.
Segment 2. Moving on to
The predicted
the
matches
predicted
for
matches for
SNME, yeah.
Saturday night's main event. The first one
Well, not predicted, they're announced, sorry.
announced.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry about
yeah.
that. We have Sami Zayn, CM Punk against the new faction of Seth Rollins and Bron Breakker.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this one. I think I've probably got Seth Rollins and Bron Breakker winning this one. I think there could be a third member of
Yeah,
that
I reckon
faction
a third member will interfere.
somewhere
like
there. But we're going to get to that a little bit later on in our other special segment. But obviously on Raw this week, CM Punk returned to the mic. Literally, almost fat shaming Paul Heyman during the whole thing. So he's going to squish his fat face or something like that. I don't know. And then Paul Heyman marching to the ring with like some purpose that Paul Heyman's going to wrestle.
Yeah.
But almost Jey Uso is getting involved in this one as well, which is interesting because something could also happen at Saturday night's main event with the Jey Uso and Logan one as well, potentially.
Yeah. Well, I think for the match in general, though, I think I still haven't gotten over the fact that CM Punk has returned to WWE after like all that time. I know it was like 2022 or whatever, but it's still so crazy to see CM Punk in a WWE ring again,
Yeah.
Still wrestling. Because it was like, like a decade or like 8 years, something like that, since he'd been in WWE. And he said like, I'm never coming back ever again.
Yeah.
So I still think it's really cool to see him in a wrestling ring again. But yeah, I think I'm same with you. I reckon Seth and Bron will probably win by interference of a third member. Yeah, I think the match will just cook though. Either way, I think they're all very talented guys, all very experienced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I just say, do you think that they're secretly setting up a heel turn for Sami Zayn?
I don't know. That would probably help his character because at the moment I think he's pretty dull, all things considered.
I have some weird feeling. I saw something online where they had, obviously, we also all remember when Seth Rollins betrayed the Shield, and they had Randy Orton and Triple H.
Yeah, the authority
down below.
There's always a plan B.
And then, obviously,
he
Seth
hits Roman
with the chair.
And Dean, yeah.
That same thing on Raw this week happened, where they had Seth Rollins and Bron Breakker both there. And then they had Jey, CM Punk, and Sami Zayn. And Sami Zayn was holding the chair. It's almost as if they could hint a Sami heel turn, which he could be the third member, potentially. Yeah. But then I was thinking that, but then I thought as well, literally like a couple of weeks ago, Seth Rollins literally and Bron Breakker attack Sami Zayn to the point where that trust probably is broken.
Yeah, probably.
But I don't know. But either way, I just think this match will still be a good.
It'll still be good. It'll still be good.
Yeah.
Moving on,
Jey Uso and Logan Paul, which you sort of have already discussed a little bit in this episode so far as well. But I think easy Jey retain, almost.
Yeah, I don't really think we're going to see anything big happening at.
I still want it to be a good match.
SNME.
Logan Paul in any match.
I do want Logan Paul to win it though, just because I feel like Gunther versus Logan would be better than Jey versus Gunther again for the millionth time. And we've already seen what Logan can do. He's a very athletic bloke.
Yeah.
Obviously, his finishing move, we both love that move, the pulverizer. Yeah.
No one's ever kicked out of the pulverizer yet.
No.
So
just like how in like 2022, A-Town Down Under were undefeated world champion.
Yeah.
The undefeated tag team, that's what they were.
That was last year.
And then they became the undefeated tag team champions.
Yeah.
Yeah. But either way, I still think I still want Logan Paul to win, even though I see that as pretty unlikely.
Yeah, I agree.
Hopefully Jey just pulls out a couple of good moves instead of super kicks and Uso splashes and all that sort of stuff. Hopefully he cooks a little bit.
Yeah, Jey will probably win. So.
Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah, this one I really want to dive deep into this next one because we'll have A-Town Down Under. Oh, we've talked about the potential split for a long time.
Yeah.
I genuinely believe that we're getting closer.
Yeah, well, it's been hinted for almost a year now. I mean, I thought it was going to happen at Bad Blood last year because it was in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Where Austin Theory would probably get cheated a bit more. But
it almost needs to happen.
Because I just don't know what they're going to do with Theory, though. I don't know if he's going to play a good face or if they're planning on him being the third member.
I feel
like it might be a bit more difficult to do like a heel split up where both of them still remain heel, you know what I mean?
Well, this is the question. Do you see Grayson betraying Theory or Theory betraying Grayson.
Well, the thing is that if Theory betrays Grayson, then Grayson kind of has to become babyface to a degree because he'll get the crowd support behind him almost.
I'm pretty sure Grayson has said before, I'm pretty sure he's been asked the question, if A-Town Down Under was to split who turn on who. I'm pretty sure Grayson could basically like, oh, I turn on Theory. 100%.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I guess they could also do it where like Grayson's being disrespectful or something like that, and then Austin beats him up.
Enough.
Yeah, Austin beats him up, and then.
But then
join Seth Rollins' faction or something.
Yeah, I'd be interested in that.
Theory back in the day, like during lockdown era, was also with Seth Rollins as well, just like momentarily when he was doing his Monday Night Messiah thing with was it Buddy Murphy, I think.
Yeah,
it was Buddy Murphy in Theory and Rollins, so they've already had a bit of history together as a faction, so could also be going that way as well. Yeah,
we've had it. We've been hinted for a year now about it happening. Obviously, the first sort of small hint that we got was last year when Austin had a match with Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah,
and then Grayson was like, what about the way Austin Theory is relevant again because of the Grayson Waller rub?
Yeah, we were talking about that at school.
Theory's why'd you say that? And then Theory lost because of that.
And that was such a long time ago, so I feel like they kind of need it.
And then the week after that, when Grayson had a match with Johnny, and then Grayson pulled Austin in the way, and Johnny attacked Austin instead.
Theory goes down. I still remember we were talking about that.
Got pulled in the way by Grayson Waller.
Yeah.
No way to treat your tag partner. And so we've had all these little hints for a long time, and then obviously when they lost the tag team championships, so it's crazy to think that was almost a year ago when they lost it, and then Grayson attacked Austin a few times as well, and then they had their triple threat match at Vengeance Day against Ober as well for the NXT
that one
championship.
Was that the one where they had separate entrances?
Austin entered first,
and then Grayson
and Grayson went in
Grayson giving the roll-in stunner to Theory instead of Ober. Yeah. That was also really good too.
Yeah, this is interesting because obviously when they had... also what else is really funny, when they had their little segment with Kathy Kelly the weekend at Raw, and then Kathy was like, let's address the elephant in the room. And Grayson was like, oh, the elephant in the room, do you mean your mum? he said to Kathy Kelly, which is just part of his character, which I love.
Just to ruffle a few feathers,
But because of that segment, obviously Theory was going to have a rematch with Sheamus, but then Theory talked to Adam Pearce, and now it's Grayson versus Sheamus this week.
Yeah.
Obviously, Sheamus will probably pick up the W, but...
I reckon it might be another Grayson pulling Theory in the way situation,
It got me thinking, will the split happen this week? Because
I don't know if it would happen on Raw, if it would happen on a PLE or something. It could even happen at SNME because that's kind of like a half PLE.
Or would it happen, like how Kevin Owens turned on Cody? Like, would it happen like not on air or something like that?
Oh yeah, it could happen.
That could be a little sneaky one that they do.
Yeah,
because
could do.
If they, I'm really I love them as a tag team. They're our favorite tag team.
Of course.
So obviously it'll be sad to see them split.
I just wish, I kind of wish that like it would be after October, just in case there's like a meet and greet or something that we can go to.
Yeah.
Or our shirts.
Yeah.
Mate, they might give us the whole lot. They might even give us some free merch.
Oh.
No, probably not.
Nah.
Might even get posted to their Instagram story, mate.
I think you're talking a little bit over the top. But no. Like I said, obviously they're our favorite tag team, and the split will happen. But I really want to see it happen anyway, just because it's
a bit long overdue now. They've probably done everything they can.
I really want to see them in a singles aspect again. I want to see what Theory's going to do, whether he'll go to Seth or maybe even Grayson will go to Seth. I
don't really see Grayson going to Seth though. He's too much of like a. I guess Grayson and Seth's personalities may kind of work because Seth's a bit more like over the top.
Yeah.
And Theory, Waller is too, but I feel like Theory could be that one sort of serious sort of, you know what I mean, trooper.
Yeah.
I guess you would call it that. In the group alongside Bron, I reckon they would cook Bron and Theory together.
Yeah.
And then Grayson can just go on. He still has a Grayson Waller effect going on. He can still just be one of those annoying heel characters,
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah.
Moving on to SmackDown, Alexa Bliss, she's back, and she had a small interaction with Charlotte backstage. All she said was, "We need to talk."
Mm.
I don't know what that means, but obviously the crowd booing Charlotte out of the arena.
Yeah.
Maybe she needs someone by her side. I'm
Yeah,
not
well,
sure.
I think Charlotte has just been pushed way too much over the years to where the people are just a bit sick and tired of her, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I feel like that reaction was kind of, well, especially things that Charlotte was saying in the ring. She was like, "Oh, me and Tiffany put the best, on the
Yeah.
best women's match of all time or something like that,
Yeah,
something
but
along the lines of that."
But you still lost, so why are you doing that? But
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Stop glazing your loss.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But what is this like? But what does this mean for the two of them? Because obviously they need to chat. Like, do we see a potential tag team happening or a
Could be.
matchup or something?
I reckon it's more likely to be a matchup because I think Alexa might go back with the Wyatt Six because they've been
Yeah.
off TV for so long.
Yeah, no.
So she might go back with the Wyatt Six and then they may have a feud or something like that. Like, I reckon Charlotte would be like, "Oh, I don't need to talk to you. Like,
Yeah.
you're irrelevant, you know?
Yeah,
I just put on the best women's match of all time."
yeah,
And then Charlotte gets haunted or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Like with Chad Gable, how the power went off and then the people went around the ring, Eric Rowan
yeah.
and all that.
yeah. Because obviously Nia Jax is now almost the number one contender again for
Yeah.
Tiffany's championship. So obviously Charlotte sort of won't go down that path.
Yeah.
I don't think, at least not yet. Again, yeah, maybe she has another feud with someone else, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's very interesting though. Good to see Alexa Bliss back though, because she was away for quite a while, and returned at the Royal Rumble, and then went away again.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
pretty interesting.
Then the other one on SmackDown was Fraxium
Yeah,
defeating the Street Profits, the actual champions.
Yeah.
Like, are Fraxium legit? Are they it?
yeah.
Because-
They are a very talented duo, obviously. A very unlikely duo that there's a masked sort of luchador with just some random British
Yeah.
boy, but yeah, it was an unlikely pairing, but it's a very good tag team. They're both very athletic. I like Nathan Frazier's I don't even know what it's called. It's like the flip that he does off the thing where he jumps.
The flippity doo da doo.
Yeah, the flippity doo da doo thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that? Who called it that again?
Grayson
Austin Theory?
Waller.
Yeah.
On the Grayson Waller effect. Effect.
Yeah, on
It's
NXT.
like-
Yeah, the flippity doo da doo thing. I really like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both very sort of athletic. They can definitely do a lot of flips and a lot of crazy moves.
Yeah, because we were saying the other week how the tag team division on SmackDown is obviously
Quite
becoming
crowded. Yeah.
pretty crowded now.
Mm.
So obviously they had DIY and the Guns go for the championships, but
Yeah.
obviously now they're trying to share it around a little bit more. They're going to get Fraxium, maybe a potential tag team match if that does
Tag
happen.
team championship. Yeah, I reckon that would happen. And
Yeah.
if it happened, I wouldn't complain. I wouldn't actually mind seeing the tag team division where it's constantly tag team title match. Obviously not too often, but
Yeah,
often enough to where the titles continue to change hands over and over again. Because I think it's a pretty entertaining sort of spectacle, especially with the match that the Street Profits and Fraxium put on
Yeah.
SmackDown as well.
yeah, or even just like a new a new team, just like two other superstars teaming up and going for it, just to add a bit of something new.
Yeah,
To-
kind of
like,
like how
to-
A-Town
to
Down
be
Under sort
yeah,
of came to fruition.
Just a little something new for the tag titles.
Yeah.
Because you've got the big six at the moment, like we
Yeah.
spoke about, like Street Profits, DIY, the Guns, Pretty Deadly.
Maybe with
Los
a loss,
Garza.
maybe with too many losses, one could just say, "Oh, screw this, I'm moving to Raw" or something. So
Yeah.
there's a bit more competition there. Because how many tag teams on Raw can you really name in reality?
Well,
A-Town Down Under, New Day,
well,
War Raiders.
the Creed brothers just beat the War Raiders.
Yeah,
on
what was it
Raw.
called? American Made.
Yeah, so now they're number one contenders in
Yeah.
line. Yeah, it's obviously the SmackDown division's better, but yeah, I don't know. I'd love to see Fraxium have that opportunity.
Yeah, I'd like to see him have a go as well. Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously in NXT, I think they were in NXT for too long there. Like, they had to get moved up because
Yeah,
they're
definitely.
too good of a talent.
Yeah.
So
I just don't know what they would do solo, if
Yeah.
the tag team split up, because
you need-
they're
yeah.
they're good together. I just don't know how charismatic they'd be by themselves.
yeah, no, I agree.
Well, I think they can both cut a pretty decent promo, but
Yeah,
that's more
for sure.
talking in the future, though. Really.
Yeah, of course. Well, our last segment today, and in the big one, we
Fraser's
have
5.
Fraser's
Can you
5.
believe it?
It's a new segment, one that we have been doing for
One
a
episode
little bit,
segment.
but we're officially naming it. This is Fraser's 5.
Yeah.
And what are you going to be
Well,
delivering us today?
we've sort of tiptoed around it today.
Yeah.
I've just got the top 5 most likely picks for a third member of Seth Rollins' faction. So I guess I'll go from 5 and then I'll go to 1.
Yep.
Because I don't want
I
to
like
do
it.
the best first. All right. Number 5, I've got Kevin Owens. Now, the only reason why I put in number 5 is
Okay.
because he's still injured and that it would take him, it would take him quite a while to come back, obviously.
Okay.
If I was to replace Kevin Owens, I may have put like Ilya Dragunov or something on there because he's been away for quite a while, like a long time as well.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't mind him seeing him that sort of dynamic. 'Cause
Okay.
he's also pretty good.
Yep.
Number 4, I've actually got an NXT call up on this one. I've got
Ooh.
Ethan Page. I don't know if you know much about Ethan Page.
No, yeah. Okay.
He's a heel superstar. I feel like he's already done all that needs to be done on NXT. Like I feel like they're just sort of keeping him down there unnecessarily now.
Yeah.
Because when he came in, he like immediately off the bat won the NXT title. Obviously he defended, and then for the next like 4 or 5 NXT PLEs, he was the main event.
Yeah.
So I reckon he's already done all there needs to be. He's already a very experienced wrestler. He's like mid to late 30s now, I think.
I don't mind that one because obviously we're all like everyone's probably like when with regards to the third member, I reckon everyone's sort of thinking on the actual current roster who's it going to be. But if you bring someone up from NXT,
I still
I
think
actually
Ethan
don't mind
Page would be
that
a very good pick. Though.
yeah, I don't mind that one because obviously the Shield back in the day all came from came up from NXT as well. So yeah, no, I like that one.
Number 3, this one might be a bit surprising. I've got Karrion Kross. Now I've only put that just because. Although he hasn't been on TV for a while, he's a number 1 T-shirt seller at the moment as well.
Okay, yeah.
So, no, I feel like maybe
That
him
would-
and Scarlett might do pretty well.
That would make the faction super strong.
Yeah, definitely. I
putting
think it'd make
Karrion
him really
there.
cool as well.
Yeah,
Um,
that would give Carrion a bit more of a push, you know.
yeah, definitely. And
Because if that happens, then he's on TV every week.
yeah,
Simple
and
as that.
I think we can definitely say after a while that gamble that he took, where it was that promo after WrestleMania.
I'm pretty sure it's working.
It definitely worked. He hasn't been demoted, didn't get fired during the recent releases or anything like that. So
Yeah.
I feel like him being part of that faction might be decent.
Yep.
Number 2, I've got Big Bronson Reed. I reckon he'd be
Yeah.
a good member of this faction, definitely, because
We
he's
st-
obviously been out for a while.
We still don't have a return date on.
No, we
Bronson.
don't. But that's the thing. That's the thing that WWE do. Though they normally just
Yeah.
like don't do it, and then it's a bit more of a surprise for the crowd.
Yeah,
One thing I kind
love
of knows
one.
that they do as well.
The only thing with Bronson is that is he happy to join up with Seth after what they went through together last year. They had a match at Crown Jewel, obviously.
Yeah.
They had a couple of backstage promos out in the parking lot as well.
Yeah.
So like they have had their beef with each other.
Yeah.
It just depends on like are they happy to put that aside and have Bronson in this faction. I think it would be a good
pick.
It would be a really good one.
Yeah.
But for the purpose of the storyline,
It'd be a bit confusing.
it's a question mark.
Yeah.
But I like the move.
Yeah. And number 1, I think you know who I've got in this position. Got Big Body Theory, Austin Theory, 8-Town Down Under. Yeah.
I love that one.
Yeah. Well, we've already sort of talked about it prior to this, obviously, on our Raw segment. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think Austin Theory would be a great third member. I think it would definitely
100%.
propel him because I think he's a bit stuck at the moment.
Yeah.
Obviously, especially because he's in the tag team division.
What it would be if you have Theory there, Theory and Bron Breakker as a tag team.
Yeah,
and then
that's
they
what I
become
just said,
tag
yeah.
team champions.
Yeah, that would be really cool because ever since Triple H sort of became in charge of booking and not
Yeah.
Vince McMahon, like Theory just like plummeted like down to the ground. Like
Yeah.
he was like what 2-time United States champion, Money in the Bank winner, Elimination Chamber winner as well.
But
Beat John Cena at
yeah.
WrestleMania 39, everything.
Yeah, but then obviously, yeah, he's the moment maker, you know.
Exactly.
But I just forgot what I was going to say.
Austin Theory's a moment maker. Well, WrestleMania 40, he was like half decent as well because he won the tag team titles with Waller.
Oh yeah, his obviously I think after he lost the United States Championship, like that tag team with Waller almost saved him a little bit because we didn't know what was going to happen with him. So obviously that did sort of
I dragged it on a bit
help him a
to
bit. Yeah.
what was it? Payback. I think the pay-per-view was back then. It was
Yeah.
him versus Ray.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, that US title is mine. Give it back to me." Or
But
whatever.
something would have had to happen for Theory to potentially turn on Walleye. Now that it has with this new faction,
Yeah.
he's almost the perfect.
Yeah, and
Candidate.
it would elevate him like so far as well.
Oh, 100%.
Up into probably into the main event picture with
Yeah.
Braun and
Because obviously
Seth.
he's had matches with Seth Rollins before, and he's beaten him
Yeah,
before as
exactly.
well. You know, like in that United States Championship picture before. So, yeah, I'd be really down to see that one with Theory.
Definitely, yeah.
So he'd be my number one.
Yeah, he's my number one too, of course.
He's our number one.
Yeah, he's our number one,
Yeah.
of course, yeah.
100%.
Number one fan too. Met him in Perth. He's a great
we
lad.
meet him. Hopefully we meet him in Perth.
Yeah, hopefully.
as
Hopefully,
well.
you know, I don't know, just going to the gym, you know, pumping some iron. Yeah.
You met him in Perth too, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Good
Tell-
bloke. He's a good bloke.
I reckon you should tell the fans the whole interaction with you on Theory.
Well,
just
it's not a
quickly.
very interesting story, but
It's kind of funny
we got
though.
to Perth, and obviously we knew he was going to be there, so went from the airport straight to the I think it was like at a shopping centre, I think, yeah,
Yeah.
and
Westfield. What was it?
Westfield Carousel, I think.
Yeah,
it was.
yeah.
Anyway, we were waiting in line for like an hour. It was so long. Maybe even been an hour and a half, I think. 'Cause I think it was meant to be there at 11. We got there at 10.
Yeah.
I think we got there like 11:30, and to like, because people are starting to get like a little bit annoyed. They're like, "Where the hell is this guy?" Like, we've been
Yeah.
waiting for so long. The WWE like lady there was like, "Oh, he's making you wait. You guys are so disrespectful." But after a while, obviously, he got to the shopping center. There were like thousands of people at the shopping center at this point. There were people like behind us, both sides of the like shopping center. There was so many people there, and
Yeah.
only about, I'd say maybe 50 to 100 people got to meet him. Like just whoever got there like quickest, like got the wristbands to go.
Yeah.
So
And
we're
then
waiting in line.
And then he showed up.
Yeah, waiting in line. It was my turn. I was wearing like this John Cena. Less context for the people
Yeah.
watching. I was wearing a John Cena.
We'll pop the photo up.
No, you're not popping the photo up. No way.
Okay.
I look so stupid in that photo.
Okay.
But,
Okay.
I was wearing like this old John Cena like shirt. I know Theory like John Cena like when he was a kid. So I was like, oh, he might mention it a bit.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, Cena, let's get that photo. Sorry, we've talked about
That's
this so many
good.
times. Yeah.
That's so good.
So anyway, we got the photos, and then I was like, should I really say like I'll be popping bottles to him because of the meme?
Yeah.
And I was like kind of a bit nervous. I was like, oh, I don't know if I should say it or not. But anyway, I was grabbing my stuff, and as I was leaving, I shouted him, I was like, I'll be popping bottles, and he shouted it back to me. And what I didn't know, what my brother told me after, he said, I don't even know what that means. But yeah, come to think of it, well, I watched another podcast that he was on. And he said, "Oh, when people just shout that out at me, I say I don't know what it means to piss them off, you know." But
That's so good.
yeah, such a good. And then
Hopefully, yeah.
it was such a good interaction. But
Hopefully we get to see Theory.
hopefully he doesn't remember my face. Hopefully not.
I doubt it.
No, I doubt it too.
Unless he's watching the podcast.
That would be an honor. That would be a great honor. But
The greatest honor.
yes,
Anyway, thanks for tuning in to episode 6 of Heel Turn. Subscribe to the channel and follow us on our social media platforms. They'll be in the description below. Fraser, thank you very much for coming back this week after your little week off last week.
yeah. Well, as I said, I'm a very busy guy. You
Yeah.
know, I've got things to do, meetings to attend. Obviously,
Yeah,
that was just a joke. I'm not. Well, I was busy, but I'm not like
that's
a
all right. You're
CEO.
back. You're
Yeah.
back. That's all that matters. But thanks so much for tuning in today, and we'll see you all next week.